Aye.
All right, if you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Shirley, can we get a roll call?
I have taken roll. Everybody is present but Wyvern and Chuck Davis, and they will be absent. You do have a quorum.
Thank you very much, ma'am. All right, item 3, consent agenda. Has everybody had a chance to review last month's meeting and any discussion or issues with it? I'm sorry, we're looking at the last month's consent agenda and see if we had any issues or concerns with last month's meeting.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. That's fine.
Oh, Lance here.
All right, next item is new business A. We got 107 East Main Street, KED Management rezoning from an RP1, to RP1 from C with the concept plan. David, you have a
Yes,
staff
we got
report?
staff comments here. Christine Hutink is in the audience today representing KED Management, who proposes rezone 107 East Main Street from C Commercial to RP1 Residential, Low-Density Residential Plan District. The property is on the south side of Main Street around the corner from City Hall. Actually, if we walked out the back door, we could see the property from here. It sits next to the old CenturyLink building, which is the brick building behind City Hall. The lot is 42.65 feet wide, 140 feet deep, and 6,016 square feet in area. So the lot area and the lot width is too narrow for to meet our R1 zoning. But they're proposing the P district overlay to allow that lot to have a house built on it. Up until last year, there was a single family house on that property. It was in really bad shape. They moved somebody out. They've since moved to, I'd say, an assisted living facility up in Plattsburgh. They demolished the building last December or September, October, something like that. Yeah, something like that. Couldn't make it here for an application sooner, but they're proposing to build a new house. They're the same group that came through with a P district rezoning a couple of years ago at 102 East Main Street, which is directly behind City Hall and across the street. They've got a new house under construction there that'll finish up here probably in the next few weeks or so.
It'll be done by July, if not before.
So they're proposing to build a new house on that property, and we see investment in the downtown area is generally a good thing. It's just that lot is a small lot. It's been in existence since 1909. It was on the old Kearney plat. Public notices were posted in the Kearney Courier on April 6th and the 13th. Access to the property would be through the alley. There's no driveways on East Main Street. I'm just kind of going through my staff report here. Staff recommends approval of the rezoning from C to RP1 with a few conditions. Approval of the RP1 plan to include a minimum lot width of 42.65 feet and a lot area of 6,016 square feet to be maintained or exceeded, meaning if there's some redevelopment project way down the road and the lots combined with another property, then we'd have a bigger property. Maybe it would meet standard setbacks or standard size and dimensions at that point in time. That all R1 setbacks and other standards be maintained. And that driveway access be restricted to the alley and not along Main Street, which is typical of all the houses along that block. And development of the project in compliance with all city codes, conditions, requirements, plans, and payment of fees and taxes. There's public hearing today for the rezoning. And like I said, Christine Hutink's in the audience today. In the packet, there was a set of building plans, and the plans were basically to show you that they could design a house that would fit on that property, even though it's narrow. If there are other questions, I can answer them, or we can have the applicant address the board as well.
Absolutely, ma'am. Would you like to address the board at all?
Do you have any questions for me specifically, or?
I don't think so. I don't think so. This is a public hearing, right?
Yes,
So we
yes, so
open
you want
it.
to open the floor for
Okay.
comment?
All right, then we can ask you questions after.
Sure.
All right, I'll open up the floor for any public comment regarding this issue.
Sorry, there's no gavel up there. They're
Yeah,
borrowing it
that's all right.
downstairs today.
And if you have a comment, just state your name and your address for us, if you would.
Okay, I'm Clayton Mooney at 110 East Washington Street.
Okay,
Been there for about 47 years. In fact, I lived in the house that got tore down for about 3 years before I moved over to this house. I was there when Larry Woods had a repair shop in the garage that's sitting up there that the Lions now use. I knew at the time they had to rezone things. I didn't know what that effect was to me until I looked at the paperwork that I was sent just the other day. There's a large gap between residential and commercial, the tax rate. I don't know whether the tax rate applies to my personal property as well as my real estate. I don't know whether that we're separated in that regard. When no business was done on that side of the street, why it stayed commercial, I have no idea about that. As long as it's been, I don't expect relief from that. But if there's an advantage to making both sides of it residential, I think maybe it ought to be considered. But until I hear some answers from some of you on some of this stuff, I don't know where her and I stand. She's my next door neighbor. The only two houses on this side is the block. And so I just don't know. There's a lot I don't know, I'll put it that way. And for him getting a break over there, that's fine, that's fine. But if there's a break to be had, shouldn't we have that too? It's getting difficult with being on a fixed income to pay our taxes on that piece of property and for personal benefit. And so it's, I didn't realize there was that much of a gap between the percentage for commercial and residential. Or I may have been fighting for it before now. But I think I need some answers.
and your property is just behind this piece of property across,
It's right up there.
right?
You've got the Lions building up there. If you're familiar where that's at, I'm right next door to you,
Okay.
and she's right next door to me.
Yeah, I'm sure that you're taxed at the residential rate of 19.5%, not at 33%, because you are a single-family dwelling and you live there as if it's a single-family dwelling.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like to see that on
Yeah,
paper.
I'd be happy to help, try and help you with that.
Okay.
I could do that.
Yeah, I don't have that answer right now.
I know a few years back, it jumped a bunch
Yeah.
on my taxes.
Yeah, and you could always talk to the assessor's office also. They're the ones that establish that. And you can pose that question to them too.
But you also receive taxes for it, and you should be looking out for your people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Is his property currently commercial?
I believe it probably is. It's on this block and
Right.
fronts along Washington Street. Yeah,
Gotcha.
but it is a
I don't know how it
dwelling. They
goes
don't
into the
operate,
next block or not.
yeah, they don't operate a business out of the house.
Okay. All right, sir, so, I think David can get you your answer you're looking for, more so than the board can right now. We don't have that information, but, I'm sure he'll be able to take care of you. Any other Any other comments? Maybe you have anything?
No, I thought that, my house was zoned commercial though.
Yeah.
Are you next door to us?
Since they had the repair shop up there,
Right.
and it was a business at that time. But, and there's been other businesses in there, there was a garage in there for a while. Mary Lawson had a, arcade in there for a while, others had that in there.
Sure.
But since, the Lions moved in there, no actual business has been in there. And
Right.
we, so I didn't know, like I say, I was not aware of those tax rates until the paperwork I was seeing. So I think we need some answers on that.
Okay. We'll get them for him. Okay. We'll get them for you, sir. Anyone else have anything to add? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Board discussion.
I don't really have any questions, but I think that this, being able to infill on these existing lots where they don't qualify, especially by doing it with a overlay plan, I think is a really great use of ability for us to be able to continue to develop and have houses on lots that aren't standard sizes. So I don't see any problem with it.
I'd second that. It goes right along with the sort of community vision plan of having this be a mixed-use area where people can live and work and entertain down in one area, so.
Are there any easement issues since the side setbacks aren't?
No, their plan for the house the intent is to meet our standard zoning setbacks. It would be a narrower
Sure,
house because
sure.
the lot is narrower.
Is there parking along Main Street?
I don't know, it's posted no parking, but it is a very narrow road. It's probably 20 feet.
Okay, but it is posted no parking, because I know I
I
have,
don't know offhand if it is or
I
not.
know they
Okay.
park on the north side.
It's a road,
I think it's like after 5 or like, I think there's like no parking between like an hour range.
okay. Because it is very narrow
It's
and
narrow
you
and
get,
Makes the street very narrow if you park.
yeah.
Yeah,
You got the
it
roadside-
does.
roadside ditch too, so it's not like you got a curb that can tell you where you're at.
right. So I don't know that I would love parking along Main Street, but,
I know they park on the north side.
Yeah, there are no driveways proposed here. This would be alley access only.
okay.
And that's part of the, item 1 condition, is that they access the property from the
From the
alley.
alley.
I have a question. A few years ago, our houses were put under eminent domain. How many houses does that go under?
I don't believe your house is under eminent domain. If your house was under eminent domain, then I think the city would have acquired the property.
It was discussed under Bill, what was his name?
South side. Tyler Tony.
Who's the mayor that we had,
Bill
that
Day.
had the leg amputated, Bill Day. It was stated that if these houses were sold, they wanted to be first in line. And from that, there was a lot of speculation on trying to buy our houses and everything, but they wanted to just throw trash offers at us. And when I bought it, I never even thought about that. But then it came down to some of that stuff but nobody ever wanted to kick in. We had a group here in town, had a downtown association that just had all kinds of wonderful plans, they thought they did. And they started talking about buying us out and all this and that. And myself and her deceased husband and a guy by the name of Louis Doyle went to the meetings. And said, yeah, if the price is right, we'll sell. When we stated that, the next meeting, there was nobody there. And they quit showing up. They thought they could just come in and victimize us and take our property. In fact, I think eminent domain was mentioned at that time, if needed,
Need to move
for the
on.
downtown betterment.
Yeah,
And they talked about grants.
okay,
Man by the name of Jim Holmes.
okay,
There and listened to all that. He said, well, I've been in the banking business for a long time. I haven't heard anything about the so-called grants you're talking about.
okay, so that's kind of a little bit outside of the realm of this,
Well, I
meeting
understand.
today.
But you need to know the history of this
Sure.
before you.
Sure, understand.
So what, this was dated August 14th, 2012, so is this null and void now?
I don't know what
I don't
you have
understand
in
it. I don't
your-
understand what that
It's a
is.
strategic issues update on the city of Kearney.
It's a master
Oh,
plan.
that was a strategic plan by the Board of Aldermen.
Okay, sorry.
That's been replaced anyway, if it was from
I think there
2012.
was something else in 2014 or something.
16, I think, yeah, 20, yeah,
Well, there's the comprehensive plan of 2016.
yeah.
Took the place of it. All right, so the intent of this one is to vote on rezoning it to RP1.
It'll be 107 East Main Street, it's
yeah.
the only property being considered.
Yeah. Any further board comments? I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve with staff recommendations.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Okay, next on the item is Surefire Signs minor site plan approval. David, staff approval.
Yep, yeah, sure. Steve Johnson with Surefire Signs is here in the audience today. They own, and are located at 1025 Innovation Drive in Innovation Business Park. There's an existing monument sign at the front of the property, and they propose to upgrade their monument sign with a new sign and to add changeable copy to the monument sign. We require a minor site plan when a new sign would include changeable copy, so that's why this application is here before you today. Overall sign height, width, square footage, location on the property all meets the city's sign code requirements. The Innovation trustees did review and approve the application as well. Staff recommends approval of the proposed sign with following conditions: that he submit a sign permit prior to installation of the sign, and that display of their sign includes no faster than 2-second intervals for changing the sign copy. We require a static image and not, moving animation on those things. Steve Johnson with Surefire Signs is in the audience if anybody has questions.
Okay, thank you, David. Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson, do you have any,
80% deaf.
do you have anything to add?
Sorry. My hearing aids are being repaired.
Yeah,
I just know.
I just explained to him the sign situation. They asked if you had any comments that you wanted to make.
Yeah, so
Or
there,
any questions.
we're in that business, so we just wanted something so people know what we're in. And if we can use it for that. We did the airport, but nobody knows we're in the LED sign business.
Oh,
They think they buy them from our competitors because they don't know we make those signs.
Gotcha. Okay,
can I ask a question? Is there, on monument signs, this one looks like it's like 7 foot tall. Is there,
Our code allows up to 7.5 foot tall.
that's what
yeah.
I needed, all right.
Yeah, it used to be 6. There was a change
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
back in the time of everybody wanted to propose a change. It was right after Quick Trip, right around when Quick Trip
Yeah,
was under
remember that.
construction. Yeah.
Okay.
more questions from the board? I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. David, old business? Anything?
I don't think, no, there is no old business. And then we have enclosures,
Yeah,
which is our monthly report, but I wanted to bring up the calendar for a couple of future meetings. 2 different meetings, and I'm gonna ask if maybe the board can, do a change in a couple meetings. One is the July meeting, July 10th. My family, actually my wife's family, has their family reunion every couple of years, and we've had to skip several years because of COVID, and the rescheduled week was the week of our July meeting. And so I was, wanted to propose the board either move the meeting or cancel the meeting. If there's no applications, it's easy to cancel. But I have a couple of dates to suggest if board wanted to maybe move the meeting, we could do, because there are other meetings in the following weeks, Wednesday, the 19th, which would be the Wednesday on the following week, or Wednesday, the 26th, or Thursday, the 27th. Those are days, that'd be 2 weeks after our normal meeting.
it makes zero difference to me.
Calendar on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm on vacation that week of July 10th too, so,
Are you?
yeah. So either,
I could probably make anything work. I'd rather the 19th, but I could
That's what I would
probably do.
recommend, simply because it's closer to the meeting date.
Yeah.
And
yeah, otherwise we get really close to the next meeting date.
What day are you saying, David?
Wednesday, the 19th
Of,
of July.
oh, of July,
Yeah, sorry, July.
okay.
good with it.
I don't have anything down on that day, so.
Okay. Wednesday's usually pretty open. And then October 9th is Columbus Day, which is a holiday. If we can keep the same, City Hall's closed that day. I don't know what everybody else's schedule is. We could move to the 11th, that Wednesday.
Sure.
Or the 12th on Thursday, or just leave it on the 9th if everybody would prefer to just keep the same meeting date.
Now we can move to
I mean, I
Wednesday.
don't really celebrate Columbus. I mean, I'm gonna have to work, so I don't care if I
I
come
don't
in.
think I'll be here that day, but
On the 9th,
But if you guys are off, then I don't want you to have to come in just for
Right,
that,
right.
that
11th,
night, yeah.
Wednesday, the 11th be okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe a simple motion by the board to change the calendar
I make a motion to make
July.
calendar changes for July and October.
to July 19th and October 11th.
Yes, what David said.
That's exactly what she was doing.
It's exactly what I said.
In a second.
Any second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
I'll get that posted, we'll get that changed and posted. Appreciate that. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, motion for adjournment.
so moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right,